Hey guys, it's Mark Coe for the 30th of April. Hope you all are doing well. Hope everybody had a nice month. Just want to talk about how we did here performance-wise in our room for the month of April. So, 30-minute intraday trade, so I'll just go over this. The 30-minute intraday, they are only covered during US session. Everything's flat by 5 p.m. Lots of times you'll be flat before, but everything's flat by 5 p.m. So this was a kind of a big draw for people being able to intraday trade. So we had the first losing day of the month yesterday. So we lost 513 bucks yesterday. We were able to make that back. So finished on a good note. For the month, final numbers come in at 10,892. The best way to look at that is like 1,080 ticks. The P&L comes from the idea of one futures contract. So every trade you see in gold, crude oil, or E-minis is based on one contract. Everything you see in euro dollar, dollar yen, or pound dollar is based on one standard lot, 100,000 euros, 100,000 pounds. So that's why I say it's easier to think about it from the standpoint of 1,000 ticks. And if you trade a fraction of 100,000 or a multiple of 100,000 in FX, you can do the math for yourself. But pretty good performance, I think. I was pleased with it. Anytime you're able to get above 1,000 ticks, it's not too shabby. But yeah, it was certainly more active. And now the swing trade component. Well, the swing trade is really kind of more, like I say, up my alley. A lot less trades or fewer trades in the swing and a lot more trades in the 30-minute intraday stuff. But the swing component finished up positive 12,000. So the trade that was closed today was here at the bottom, euro dollar. We went long last night at 11.57, closed them this morning at 12.18 for 61 ticks, or again on the 100,000 position sizing, $610. Gave up the commission. We're flat in gold, and gold's actually doing better. We just unfortunately got stopped out, but gold's about $4 better as we speak. But again, 1,200 ticks on the month, $12,000. It was a pretty decent month. So hope you guys had a nice April. The $500 annual pricing is no longer in effect, but there are still some deals to be had to join the room and the service. We're going to focus on the next couple weeks in the education component. So we do a weekly class. We're going to focus on the idea of how do we take a smaller account and really grow it. How, the focus being on how to grow it into a more sizable account, be able to trade multiple positions across multiple markets. It's a very common thing you run across in the retail world. A lot of people trading fairly small sized accounts, and the idea is how do we really focus on one or two markets to work on? How do we use profits to get bigger versus using risk capital to get bigger, right? How do we really let our profits allow us to risk more? And we're going to be talking about all of those concepts. So if you haven't checked it out, and if the education's of some interest, I would highly encourage you to grab it while you can. CompassFX.com. You can always sign up, but it's still in my mind a very valuable service. So I hope you guys had a great April. Hope we're in store for some more movement like this next month. As I said, with the volatility we've seen over about the last 14, 15 months, I would expect to see continued volatility. And granted, you have slower days, but it's all in all, we continue to see that movement and those opportunities, and that's really what we look at it for. Is, I want the idea of saying, hey, I want to constantly be leaning against support to buy, leaning against resistance to be a seller. As I mentioned today, we took profit in euro dollar at 12.18. Well, we happened to sell right into this resistance area. We were buyers in euro dollar overnight. Not massive support. Our bigger support was coming down to 11.15, but that's really what we're doing in this approach. And then we're using these trade signals and really having a decent time with it. So cheers, guys. I hope everybody had a good April, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.